By its very nature, the Minnesota River has a history of carrying sediment. It is both an asset and a curse, as we shall see.
This creek has a relatively small watershed compared to some, but it comes so fast. This is all the stuff it carries down. We used to farm this in here, but you can't do anything with it anymore.
Charles Smith is a young-looking 70-year-old who has lived just below Minnemishinona Falls his entire life.
The creek is going to do even more damage, it's going to run everywhere.
He has seen and photographed the changes over the years to the falls and his farm.
This is the falls in 1958, right there. And this is from the 50s. You can see the change even from there to here. That's all fractured back under there, and that'll break away. In here, this was kind of the shallow end of the lake. There used to be about 7 or 8 feet of water in here. And that used to be about a 5-6 foot drop, to come down to this level. And then the edge of the lake was in here. And that's all filled in. And it's all from the creek, more or less. The river runs in here, but 98% of it's from the creek. It's all come down off the hillsides. But you're standing on 8-9 feet of fill. Hard to believe that. But this was lake shore when I was a kid.
The state climatologist indicates that we're getting more convective storms of greater intensity rains, which means that the streams themselves have larger floods, have higher peak flows, and so they are more erosive.
The main problem here is the speed it comes down.
It seems to be the way we manage water that affects the river quality. It's not a surprise.
The green solid lines are new 6-inch.
They're tiling every 50 feet.
Charles says the change he's seen in the creek is evidence of land use changes upstream.
All the drainage out of the drain ditches and everything, they keep widening, cleaning, and draining more and more all the time, so it's faster.
You give a river more water to work with, it becomes more erosive. So we're seeing more sediment coming from places where the river kind of impacts a bank or a bluff.
Geologist Carrie Jennings.
We just tend to be in a hurry to move water off the landscape. No matter what we do on the surface, whether it's urbanizing an area or putting a roof on a lot or draining agricultural fields, it's all has the same effect, which is to hurry water to the stream, to get it there as quickly as possible.
This creek never used to go dry. It goes dry now sometimes 3-4 days after it rains. The more you tile, the more you drain, the quicker it comes and the sooner it goes dry. Unfortunately, we're in the way of the city. All that drainage from the city is coming this way.
Clearly, Charles and others along the river are worried about the future of our namesake river.
When they get in and they let them develop like they're doing up on top here, they don't have any plans for that water, really. They base everything on a 2-inch rain. Well, we didn't have a 2-inch rain 2 or 3 weeks ago. It rained for 3 days steady. They'd really have to put in some really good control ponds to hold back some of that. And I doubt if they're going to do that because they don't want to go to the expense of doing that. They don't pay for the trouble it causes downstream. So much has been destroyed. It's hard to make up for that.
Come on down to the river.
But the good news is, today, lots of folks are working together to make it better.
Come on down with me.
The plan has 2 parts. Schara Productions will help produce a 1-hour documentary on the river. We're also going to create a website that will become the gateway to information about the Minnesota River Basin.
We're thrilled to be working together on this project, and the Water Resources Center has a long history of being a clearinghouse of information about the Minnesota River Basin.
Being able to see the people that are working on the river, the knowledge and the resource people that are out here, seeing what really the river has to offer.
Assuming we have wetlands, construction gets done and they start to fill with water next spring, you'll be amazed.
There are all kinds of people who are committed and dedicated and talented and doing everything they can to clean up the Minnesota River.
For me, it's really hopeful when you're putting together this documentary or just talking to other people that are doing things that are good. You know, you can't affect the whole world. You can't change everything at once, but you can work on your little piece.
This project can be the turning point. Working together, we can restore the Minnesota River.
It should teach the current array of policy leaders, cut all this negative nonsense out and learn to work together.